One, and we're live. It's Metplus Client meeting, and it's Sam and Chet, and Joel's just let us know that he can't make it today, but he's going to watch the video afterwards and catch up with us. So, yeah, let's have a look-see at different things that we need to look at. I think the main thing that we've got that should now be up is that now individual job seekers can't apply for jobs themselves. Is that change up in the way that you're expecting, Chet?
You said you already changed that?
Yeah, we changed that and pushed that up. Have you seen the effects of that? I mean, that was, I guess, that was pushed up a week or two ago. So now, when you log in as a job seeker, you should no longer be able to see, the application button or the apply button for jobs.
Okay, no, I haven't went through it as far as a job seeker, but I just was looking at some of the jobs that were on there to say applied this many days ago. So, well, that's good to know. I'm glad that's changed now.
Yeah, there was a fairly straightforward change, and that was deployed. Although one of the things I wanted to work on with Joao was, I think, it's one of those things that it's difficult for us to check, because in the main interface, if we go workforce, I think I've got the admin login, but I haven't got, the job seekers that we've got in here are all real job seekers, and so I don't know their passwords. And so I'm sort of caught in this, should I create my own one in here or what? And I wanted to ask Joao what he usually does. I might just ask him that in the chat. In the meantime, so do you have, you were sending lots of PowerPoints and things which you've been having a look at. Were there things that you particularly wanted to cover in the meeting today, Chet?
Soon we're about to launch within a facility, and we definitely need something for the case managers for the intake process of these job seekers, because some of them they will come into the office, and the case manager, like I said when I sent you the information, they have to go through the intake process to make sure that the job seeker is even ready, prepared before they send them over to the job developer. So yeah, so pretty much that's it.
Okay, so I'm taking some notes. New location. So you're saying, yeah, something for the case manager to help prepare the job seeker to go to the job developer. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to pull up your. Can you see my screen? Okay, is it? Are you on? Can you only see it on your phone?
I can see it pretty good.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm. Let's see. I'm just looking for your. Are these the most recent emails? I think. Hold on, because I guess some of them. Yeah, because I mean, so I need to bring up all the things that you've been sending, because at the moment, to my mind, I'm not completely clear on where these things come from, but I can try and see here. Yeah, I'm trying to find all your most recent email. Okay, so the recent emails are coming. Okay, it's a CPIT. Sorry, just searching for your email address. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so I've got here. So you said, so this was the screenshot of categories for the case manager screen.
That's correct. So, that's some of the categories, and I believe I sent 2 more in the body of the email.
In the body of the, I mean, yeah, in the body of the email, I've got the contents of the email that you had here. Programs and Services tab and a Community Service tab to make it easier. And yeah, so we've got the details of that. But now for me, I guess, like, I mean, you were talking about the case manager screen being blank. Now, the case manager screen, is that one that you would? I mean, this was the one that you said to me earlier, which was, you said that you were on the case manager screen and you noticed that there are no features to assist the job seekers.
Correct.
So now, if we log in as the admin, we'll be able to see the case manager. Do we need to log in specifically as a case manager to see the case manager screen?
Yeah, log in as a case manager, not in
right.
as far as in the admin screen.
Not as an admin. So I'm gonna go here to this, and we've got our Metplus wiki where we've got the different logins. So we've got the case manager there. So were you logging in using this person, or you were logging in with a case manager that you'd see? I'm not sure off the bat what would be a case manager email and login. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I'm not used to. And what I will do is I'll reach out to Joao and ask how can we log in to the main system as a job seeker, as a case manager. But do you want to give me in the chat the login and password for the case manager that you logged in as, so I can see?
Actually, I can't remember it.
I'm
just leaving the ultrasound appointment with my wife. So yeah, you probably have to log into, I guess you said you got a wiki.
Yeah, no, I've got a wiki. I've got lists of things that allow us to log in on the staging server, so we could do that there. And what I can also do is I can connect to the database and get a list of the names of those things. So if you give me a second, I can do that. Give me a second. So we want the production system, and then I want to do just doing this in another window. Oh, that's right. I want to enter the name. No, I don't want to enter it. No, I want to just run. Need to run the database command. Okay. Rails console. Well, that will do it for a minute. Let's see. I think Joao is online, but he's not immediately giving me any information. I mean, in the meantime, I can be trying to look at what we've got on the staging server, where I should be able to log in with all of our team things, but of course the data might be a bit different. But I'll try and log in as the case manager there.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, so I'm logged in here as a case manager on the staging server. And so when you say the case manager's screen, do you mean this screen?
Correct.
Right. And so when you're saying that there are no features there to assist the job seekers, what features would you be expecting to see on this screen?
So like the screenshot that I sent you.
So we've got so this one here.
Correct, but it'd be in a different, of course.
Format, sure. But this case management here, these are categories. So we've got a list of categories for these things. Are these categories for types of jobs? or they're categories that job seekers would be in, or what sort of category are they?
These are categories for anyone uh, who register for pets. Basically, when they go through the case manager, just remember the whole purpose of the software is to make sure we're finding you know, creating the best candidate. We want to bring in the best job and bring in the best candidate. So we
Right.
have to have an intake process on them, pretty much.
Right. So these categories. These are all pathways through which people might be recommended to the service.
Correct. So if you come in, if you say you're qualified for this job right here, but then again, at the same time, you may not even have transportation to get there. So those are things that you'll let the case manager know.
Yes. But so for example, I mean, if we make this kind of specific, so I mean, as I understand it, we've got somebody who's a job seeker who, has been referred to the agency through some means. So, I mean, I can see here there's like mention of substance abuse referral and children's services. So we could say that, some people would come in through the substance abuse referral. That's how they would be, like suggested as somebody who might benefit from the pet system, right?
Yeah, they can come in as referrals.
Right.
And also, while the case managers are like social workers as well. So
Sure.
Once they start to get, talking with the job seeker, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's going on? Things like that. And then they may say, well, some people just come on and say, hey, I have a problem, or I want to work, but I need community service hours. So if you create these boxes where the case manager can actually check, write notes, and then eventually, I don't know if you can create a section where we can create a pre-populated, where we can pre-populate, I don't know, referral services or something like that. We can just click now. Okay, you seem like you need to go through this place first, and then once you're done with, this program, then you can come back to us. We'll, we'll check you off. We'll check you out, and if you're good, we'll give you the green light, and we can see you to our job developer.
So, I mean, the thing that I'm struggling with still, though, I mean, I understand, that process of the job seeker, they're coming from various different backgrounds. They need help and support. The case manager's got to understand, them and their situation and so on to help them find the right, good match and so on. So that's no problem there. But when I've got this list of words, public benefits, medical needs, I'm confused about, is that like the case manager presumably is, let's say they're working with 10 job seekers, right, who they've got to help. And so are these categories that the case manager puts the job seeker in? So I've got 2 people who have come to me from substance abuse referral, or is this list of categories, these are places that I might send a job seeker to before I then help them get a job? Do you know what I mean? I'm struggling with understanding what sort of categories these are, and then how the case manager will, like you're saying, you want these categories to be there on the screen, but is that a way for organizing the existing job seekers, or is it a way to provide the case manager with information about how to do a referral to substance abuse or children's services?
You know what? You got my wheels turning. Basically, this was a screen for organizing the case manager case notes about the job seeker, so they can better. But it can be another tab that's referrals. Basically, so I can click down a tab, say, okay, where did you come from? I came from Agile Ventures. I click down, and boom, there you go. Click on Agile. I referred from Agile Ventures. You know what I mean? So that tab can be put on there as well. But when the case manager will create the case notes,
right,
based off of what they evaluate, then they can figure out where to refer them internally.
Okay.
Or externally.
Yeah, no, so that's interesting. I mean, I'm doing some other work actually for the Harrow Women's Centre here in the UK, and they run a counselling service, and they are looking to get set up with case management software. And at the moment, they've got the individual counsellors writing down the case notes on paper, and then the paper is being collected together and being handed to the clinical manager, and the clinical manager makes summary reports, and that's, you know, perhaps not dissimilar to how you have things set up. You're still using paper to a degree, right?
Correct.
At the moment, and so here we can. So the key thing that you want to the person you want to help here is you want to help the case manager, and you want to help them organize their notes electronically. Is that right?
Correct. Organize their notes electronically and be able to what do you call it? So once they organize the notes, they're able to email those notes to the correct department.
Right.
If it's
Yeah.
medical division, therapist, you know. So.
Yep. Oh no, definitely. So, I mean, at the moment, when the case managers, the current case managers, do they just write out on plain paper, or do they have like a form that they fill in? Can you tell me a little bit more about what the case managers are using to write on at the moment?
Well, pretty much every case manager is different. Some may use a form that they have. You know, they can print out forms, or some may just write down notes. But
right, a free form on like a legal pad or whatever.
Correct.
Okay, that's interesting. Others might just write free form. But so that, and then what you're like, obviously one can provide, you know, in a digital system, the ability to just add free form notes. But so when you're thinking about these categories, you're thinking about this as like a way of breaking up the notes. So for example, now, I mean, this is where, like, kind of, I mean, I assume with this screen here, you're not necessarily thinking about it being arranged in a circle like this. That was just
no, I just found it like that.
Yeah. That was a convenient list of all of the individual things. But so maybe if I go over here and I just, and how quick this will be, it's going to take a little while to load. But if I make a, oh, it's always so annoying. This was just, it's so good. Once it, I should like, wish there were, I want to go here and create a new drawing. Just do it in slides, but here. So what we're imagining is, and you mentioned tabs a few times. So here it's like it takes about 10 seconds for this to load, and it's like, no, we need it instantly. Like if we had a whiteboard. But so what we're imagining is that, like, maybe you would have, so if I go back to the thing there, so let's take, for example, children's services. So you're imagining that there might be tabs with you know, each of these categories in it, like this, and then so that they would be in a line. So I'm going to put another one that's public benefits, and so then, for example, if the person was, let's have a look at this thicker, if they had highlighted the children's services, let's say, and that was the tab that was active, then there would be a set of notes underneath. There'd be a space specifically for writing about any issues related to children for this client. So they might say, like, the client has 3 children, aged 7, 13, and 15. The 15-year-old has autism, and that kind of stuff, right? So they would be, this would be where they would kind of write the notes about that. And then you're imagining that, like, the case manager could then click on a different tab, and then that would be, they'd write some different notes related to this other category. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Right. And so what it is the structure of these things is, we're trying to kind of like help the case manager organize what they're doing to make sure they're thinking about all of these possible angles as regards the person they're trying to help. Is that right?
Correct.
That's the key. That's the key. The reason we want this is we want to, yeah. So the key thing there, we want to help ensure that case managers are considering all the possible angles about how they can help job seekers. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. That's very helpful. Yes. And so if we look at the current system, so at the moment, I mean, assuming that there were job seekers in there, I guess, can I take a no, I don't think I can register them. So at the moment, the job seeker, the case manager kind of homepage, it has a sort of a task management list, and it might have a list of different job seekers, but there's no space for notes at the moment.
Correct. You can there's no space for notes. So basically you can just, like, you know, if you add a as an admin, if I add job seekers to this case manager,
yes,
the case manager is not doing anything. I mean, the system is not showing they're doing anything at all.
No.
So,
Well, I mean, the jobs, effectively that case manager gets a list of job seekers that they can consider, and
yep.
I don't know about the task system. I don't know who. I mean, I guess someone can assign a task to the case manager to say you need to process this person. But yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, I don't know the functionality of the system as well as Joao or you do. But yeah, so far there's no mechanism for allowing a case manager to add notes about individual job seekers.
Correct. There's no mechanism, and remember, and after, you know, the notes are said and done, it definitely should be an export button on either on every tab or as a matter of fact, the whole page of that job seeker. So after all the notes are said and done,
yes,
you should be able to export it, and you have that for record. So if you did have to send it off, like I said, to a psychiatrist,
right,
to the government for public assistance, at least to have an idea of what they need and what's going on.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, so this represents effectively kind of a new feature that we didn't previously have in the system, which is the ability to support case manager note taking.
Yes.
Sent to other related parties. Yes, but yes, it's interesting because the setup that we've got here in Harrow is that there are existing software systems that are like dedicated towards case management that will kind of do those sorts of things off the shelf, and the budget that they have here is like not really going to afford like the development of a complete new software to do that. But so I'm looking at using existing software packages to help support that. Yeah, so this is I totally understand the value of this feature to the case managers. But yes, that's yeah, what we don't have a huge amount of at the moment is developer resources. A lot of the people, you know, volunteering for us are volunteering on other projects that are using more, like there's, you know, since this project started, there's like waves of new technology like React and Vue and so on that do, you know, new things on the front end. And those seem to be the more attractive projects to our volunteer developers. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is very interesting for me because I say I'm working on case management stuff for some other clients. So yeah, I think now that I understand what you're looking at here, it makes me wonder: can we integrate with another system, you know, an open source system that supports this, and get you this sort of functionality faster than if we were trying to write it from scratch ourselves? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. Okay, yeah. So that's clear. That's clear now. Now, was there? Let me have a look. Was there somewhere? So we've got the case manager info. So the right, yeah, and you're thinking about like for each of these different tabs, like that they might have like a pre-populated, you know, things to ask things to
Correct.
consider and so on. Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah. So
Go.
in the pre-populated tab, like you said, it have questions to ask,
Right,
and a note box.
right. So I mean, like, do you? I mean, I'm sure you're doing lots of things. I mean, you've also worked as a case manager. Is that right?
I guess that was a part of my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a form, like an existing paper form, that you liked to use when you were doing it?
No, not really.
Yeah. Did you?
Remember, they didn't really have anything for us. That's what made me,
Sure.
design this.
Right. And but so you tended to write your own stuff free form when you
Correct.
were doing it. Yeah. And now you're thinking about what kind of structure would help people when they're doing it, or would make it easier and simpler for them to do that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand you completely. Just looking, and then so you also sent this PowerPoint for the software, which I'm just opening up, which is kind of an overview. Was there anything in there that you wanted to draw our attention to?
I guess right now I can't say. I don't know. Let me see. You got it up right now? Yeah,
Yeah,
because I know I sent it to
I've
Joel a
pulled it up
while ago.
here. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Let's see. Control responsive. Case manager. Okay, can you go back to the last screen?
Sorry, which one?
The one that said right there. Okay, skill assessment. Case managers are able to assess job seekers with built-in programming and quizzes in various languages. This gives you a good overview of the competencies of each job seeker. That's allowing the case manager to evaluate the client and direct them to the appropriate program.
Yep.
Those are just notes that I created.
Yeah. No, this is all very useful background stuff. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, if there's and anytime you've got anything like this, sharing it, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So if there isn't anything particular you want to draw our attention to, we'll just sort of keep that as background information.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that brings us on to, I mean, the key kind of issue is this resume matching, which we've been looking at. And I don't know if Joao has explained anything further, but the current system, it's very brittle in terms of handling like new categories of jobs.
Okay.
So I mean, the ones that you were trying to match. So there was like I forget the name of the exact job, but it was using a resume that had sort of a like a nurse manager thing, and so that wasn't like the system wasn't handling, even though they were like similar words in both the resume and the job description. It was failing to match it because what it was doing is it was trying to put both the resume and the job into like the 10 categories that it knew about, like administrative assistant and the ones that it already knew about. So like, to me it's sort of clear, like when the categories are not matching up, it needs to fall back on the word matching, which is what you were obviously expecting. Well, there's the same words in this resume and in this job description, it should match. The original kind of word matching one that Joao had written, the previous brain, it will only match on like the most popular word term. It like only matches on one, and like it's very unlikely that it's necessarily the key one, like the nurse manager. So like last week, I got into seeing exactly how that works, and I think we can extend on that. Joao's also been working on, he's got like a complete rewrite of the engine and so on. So we hope to make some progress on that soon. But yeah, I still can't guarantee when we will get that done by. So I know that's a bit of a blocker, but that's where we are with that. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
But yeah, I'll be getting into that again tomorrow. Yeah. So is there anything else we should cover today?
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna put an action item for myself to explore existing case management software. Yeah. Now, and was there? Sorry, is it my? Was there another? So the things that the priority at the moment obviously is the resume matching, and then you got the sort of like supporting the case manager. Is there anything else that you would say at the moment is particularly high priority?
Besides the case manager, at this moment, I can't really think of anything else besides, the crunch of the case manager screen.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so then, I mean, there are other minor things that we've got, but I've been putting in. So you mentioned adding a city and state option for the job seeker information screen. Should we just like, which is the job seeker information screen? Is that when the job seeker is logged in?
Click on the job seeker.
So I mean, here I'm logged in as this case manager, and you can see individual jobs, and it says not authorized to see them. I mean, who should I log in as to see the job seeker information screen?
I guess you can go to it. You can go to admin or a job developer.
Okay, so I'll log in as the admin.
Yeah, the admin.
Yeah. Let me get back into the wiki and the list of logins. Let's see, it's in here, and the admin address. This is staging. Log in as.
Oh yeah, and I just remembered.
Go on.
You probably already know, but remember I said, how if you're an employer, you have your different what is it, the color coding where you know where the job seeker is at. Remember, I wanted that across the board where the job developer can see that too, and the case manager.
Yes, and I think we've got. Let's have a look.
And I'm thinking maybe the job seeker can see this as well. It's just the only person that can contact the employer to see, check the status would be the job developer. Yeah.
So I've got a note that you want both the job developer and the case manager to have the same view, and like that's this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to make hopefully it makes sense. So the case manager, the job developer, the agency admin, I guess they'll be able to view the job development case manager screen, correct? So they can see it through their screen.
Right.
All right. Or they can see, or they can have a screen where they can see all the job seekers. That's where they're at right now, which stage they're in, like as far as process.
I think we've got that in an open ticket here about being able to see the color coded pool for all of these different folks. Yeah, that's in there in the backlog. But so yeah, I'm logged in as admin, and so it's saying to see the job seeker information screen. Oh, that's this. screen.
Correct. Correct.
And so the issue there, let's go back to the other issue. The issue there is that city and state option. So at the moment, it looks like the person's, I guess there's the address. It seems to have a city and state option there.
Okay, it has it there.
Yeah, it's when you're editing, I think it's there, and then I think it's collapsing the address into a single line in the view. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Would you prefer here that the different parts of the address were broken out into city and state? Would that make them easier to work with?
Probably. Well, basically, I'm just trying to get you let me know. I'm just trying to. So, for instance, if you're a job developer and you're helping someone, and you see their city is Detroit, you want to try to find them jobs around within that area. So, I mean, but
indeed,
maybe I overlooked it. You know.
Well, but that's also, if you do overlook it, then it means it's maybe not easy enough to find. So, I mean, at least in terms of making changes, changing it so that it's there's something that was on one line or is on two lines and it says state Detroit is a relatively easy change for a new developer to make. So it's the kind of thing we can play with quite easily compared to a note-taking framework for the case manager, which is a complete new feature, which is potentially quite a lot of work. But perhaps I'll just make a note here: break out state and city into separate lines in order to highlight them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we've certainly got things to do, and we'll do our best to see if we can get more volunteers on these things. But yeah, good to catch up with you and properly understand what you need on the case management side.
Okay.
All right. So unless there's anything else, maybe we'll wrap up for today and see you again in 2 weeks. I'm off in 2 weeks, but so hopefully Joao will be better in 2 weeks and can catch up with you then.
Okay, just let me shoot me an email. Let me know the day and time, and we can go from there.
We'll do. Great stuff. All right. Bye for now, Chet. Take care.
All right. Thank you. You too. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.